Give me an example of the time you managed numerous responsibilities and how'd you handle it. This is an everyday occurrence for me. Since I am a physical therapist aide, that means I have the most responsibilities in the clinic. Not the most heavy responsibilities, as that usually falls onto the DPTs, but many responsibilities in itself. I have to take a part of some of them as well. I'm required to answer phone calls. I'm required to welcome in patients and get them checked in and take any payments that are necessary. I am required to help people in the back of the PTs who need my assistance. I'm required to keep the stations clean. I'm required to keep the gym clean. And I'm required to keep the whole area sanitized as well, because since it is an area where patients come in to exercise, they will sweat, and we want to avoid any contamination. I usually am the one in charge of that. So probably the most the situation where I had to deal with the most things at once is I was given two patients at the same time, and that is very not optimal for us. It just happened that one of them was late, and we allowed them to work, and because I was working with them, and another patient was finishing up, but our DPT needed to go on to her next patient because of time. So I was given two patients to work with, going back and forth between them, making sure the exercises were proper. And while this is happening, a new patient is coming in, and unfortunately our FOC was not in that day. So it was up to me to go up to the front desk and welcome them in and get them checked in and take any payments. How I handled that situation is I went to one patient, reading their chart. I was able to give them an exercise that I know takes quite a bit of time and that I know they can do perfectly as I've worked with them before. So I'm able to have my back turned to them and go to the other patient and do the same thing. I also asked my DPTs who were there and who are currently working with other patients just to keep an eye on them, just to make sure that they're doing their exercises right. After I said that, I went up to the front desk, I welcomed the patient in, and I took any payments that they had to make, and was able to get them situated and let them know about when their next appointments were and when they're going to get started with their PT. As I went back, I met that PT and asked them if they wanted that patient to get started on anything. They said yes. I went and checked on for two patients first, though, to make sure that they're still doing their exercises properly, and they were. I went back up to the front area and I welcomed in the patient, got them started on their warm-ups, and then went to my other two patients who were just finishing up their exercises. I got them started on their next ones, checked in with the new patient during their warm-up, making sure, seeing how they're feeling. I let the DPT know how exactly they're feeling on their warm-up, and the last two patients only had a few exercises left, so I was able to go back and forth between them and making sure they were doing everything properly.